Hey y'all, we're gonna get into this whole Jamie and Nikki situation. Nikki, she has posted some things on her Instagram today in response to Jamie's video that he dropped like last week or so that he has since deleted off of YouTube. And we're just gonna get into what she had to say on her Instagram stories. And if you enjoy this review, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. So I'm sure most of you remember when Jamie posted this video to his YouTube channel titled Why I Left Nikki, the story I never wanted to tell. And since then, he has deleted this video. But now Nikki has decided to respond to everything that Jamie had said in his video. And mind you, his video was like an hour and a half long. And at the time, I wanted to review Jamie's video, but I wanted to wait until after Nikki said something because, I'm gonna stick up for a black woman at the end of the day. I wanted to hear her side of the story regardless of what he had to say. And the fact that he deleted it is making me think, some fishy shit going on his side. But let's get into these screenshots that came directly from Nikki's Instagram account. Nikki says, I made a video responding to the allegations and was ready to press post, but for the sake of our children, I'm not going to engage in a back and forth online. I'll share context that was missing from his video and leave this subject alone. I have had no contact with him since he posted that video, nor have I threatened legal action. Jamie removed the video simply because he saw that people weren't buying his story. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people were saying that they didn't really buy his story, so I do believe that that might have been the reason why he deleted it, because he just wasn't getting the support and the clout he thought he would. And then I also saw someone when he first came out with this story, someone go live and say that Nikki has a new man and he's black. So that might have been the reason why Jamie was just like, all right, let me just come out here and post these videos of her and just call her all kinds of everything. So I do believe that he only posted this stuff because he was jealous that she moved on. And he said in the video that they had just finalized the divorce this year. So yeah, he's just really jelly right now. But on to the next one. Nikki continues to say, I felt something wasn't right in my marriage, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. Then in June of 2019, I came across the podcast Love and Abuse, where I discovered what emotional abuse was. I made the mistake of telling him I knew he was emotionally abusive and probably a covert narc. I never cheated on Jamie, and he knows that, but he was quick to run a smear campaign through the community about why we broke up. I want to make it very clear that what you witnessed was reactive. The clips you saw were carefully edited and didn't show what led to me smacking the phone out of his hand. Never have I punched this man or thrown heavy objects at him during our disagreements. I came to the house to collect some clothes and wanted to have a conversation. He kept calling me a slut and to get out of his house. I then requested that he drops the girls at the supermarket car park for changeover, and he says that he would rather do it at a police station. This wasn't court ordered. At this point, I'm highly upset because why would you want to inflict that trauma on our daughters, having changeover with their parents at a police station every week? He just wanted to manipulate their minds and paint the picture that mom was so dangerous that dad needed protection. And this may have been why Jamie took down the video so we can't corroborate everything that he said to what Nikki said, because did he ever tell us that he wanted to exchange the kids at the police station? That's fucked up. Now I remember him mentioning a police station in the video, but why would you want your kids to be exchanged there every week? That is fucked up, especially if it wasn't necessary. Like, that's some dark shit a little bit. Like, oh, I don't like that. Like, you think your kids won't remember that? Mm. And there are people like, no, they won't remember that. They were so little. You don't know what kids remember. I remember stuff from when I was 2. I'm 23. Okay, you don't know what kids remember. So yeah, that's not okay at all. And whoever made him think that that's okay, you're just as fucked up. I smacked the camera out of his hand because I was in a vulnerable moment and didn't want to be recorded. This was a pattern where he constantly violated me by filming me without my consent. It started early at 18, and when I gave birth, he posted my very personal birth vlogs without giving me any time to emotionally recover. I remember begging him to give me time with our new baby before we shared her with the world, but he told me to stop sabotaging the channel. When the cameras were rolling, Jamie was very sweet to me, but behind the lens, he was highly critical. My body after children quickly became a main topic, and he expressed me needing to hit the gym 3 weeks postpartum with Ava. He would repeatedly comment on my stretch marks and loose skin, asking why I couldn't just snap back. He blamed me for absolutely everything. Nothing I could do was right, and I was at fault for anything that went wrong in his life. What's so sad is that so many people used to watch them. I used to watch them. And I totally get what she means about him just making it seem like that everything that went wrong in his life, he would blame her for. Because that was the energy I was giving in the video. It was just like, oh, Nikki this, Nikki that. She's the reason why I had to only start posting content once a week, this, that, and the third. Literally, the whole video was like, this is why I left Nikki, and this is everything that she did wrong. Like, come on, sir. You's a grown man with kids. Stop it. Nikki continues to say, shortly after that encounter, he tried to get a restraining order on me. Not only did he put himself down as a protected person, but also our 2 young daughters. If he was successful in obtaining that, I could not come within 200 meters of them. Jamie, what in the entire fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do that? That is so messed up. Oh my gosh. And they're 2 little girls. They need their mother. That is, oh no. And we know how people get during divorces, after divorces. It just gets real ugly. But Jamie, look at them dead eyes, y'all. Look at his dead eyes in this picture. Should have known something right. Nikki says his mother enabled his behavior and signed as a witness that she saw me beating him in front of the children. The clip you saw of me smacking the phone. And they took his evidence to court. I put a counter complaint on him, and it was up to the judge to decide. He knows there's nothing I love more than our daughters, so he used that footage to silence me. We never went before a judge. Instead, he had his lawyer present an undertaking, which conveniently included that the children could continue being filmed for YouTube. It also included that we couldn't mention one another or our relationship online for 12 months. We both signed it because I had no intention of making this public and he didn't want to risk the chance of not seeing our girls. He has been free to speak on this since 2020. Nikki then posts these 2 documents on her Instagram story. Pause to read. Nikki continues to say, I never kept him from the kids. I said you can see them whenever you want. All I asked is that he stop exploiting them. I saw how it affected me in the marriage, and I didn't want our kids to suffer the same confusion because dad was totally different when the cameras were on. In 2020, Jamie messaged my sister and was trying to get me back once he saw his views were still low. Despite using the kids for the majority of his content, I had already filed for divorce, but he wanted me to change my mind. He came to my parents' house, we went for a walk, and he told me he wanted his family back. They always want the family back, girl. Always. Every single time. Nikki says, I said no and our divorce was finalized in December of 2020. Since then, I've been negotiating their online presence and managed to get it down to 1 video a week featuring the kids. This was across all platforms, including YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I worked very hard to lower their online presence because I saw how it affects them. I initially agreed to him filming with the kids as long as he pays them a percentage, but he refused that offer. Now, before Jamie deleted his video trying to expose Nikki, he did say that he ended up signing a contract where he was only able to post 1 video a week across all his platforms, and that was it. He couldn't post anything else. If he posted on YouTube here, he couldn't post on TikTok there. If he posted on Facebook here, he couldn't post on Instagram there. And on her Instagram story, Nikki is basically saying that it was her who asked to limit the kids' online presence to once a week. Either way, I feel like she got his ass good to down to once a week. That's only 52 times a year. That's crazy. Nikki continues to say, he claims I was vengeful, but after I left, he stole the channel, changed password to the business email so I couldn't work with past clients, and changed our bank details on AdSense so the revenue from our past vlogs went to his personal account. He kept the vlogs for himself, leaving me with zero memories of our children. I requested my full birth videos, but he kept them from me for 3.5 years. He used this as leverage so that I changed my stance on him making content with the girls. Part of the reason I vlogged was to have a memory diary for our babies as they grew, but he kept these things from me too. I even asked for footage of my sister Sarah. He had all the hard drives and he told me that they were destroyed. Please keep in mind my sister isn't alive anymore, and they were the only videos of her I had to look back and remember her. He knew our children and my sister were a sensitive spot for me, so he would use these two things to control me. Jamie's health issues never stopped him from partying with friends, never stopped him from taking trips overseas while I looked after our children. When I did ask for assistance, he would throw it in my face that I was the one who wanted kids. So I find it interesting that he claims he's too sick to work a regular job. I even gave him ideas on what he could film. I told him that he could make video editing content as he's a great editor, or work a traditional job. I'm not limiting his capacity to earn. I simply put my foot down and said, don't exploit our children for monetary gain like he did with me. Jamie kept dragging me back to court and writing complaints to my lawyer constantly. The legal fees he's incurred were self inflicted. His 40th birthday. On Jamie's birthday, the girls had school. They mentioned Dad was going to Sydney for his birthday. He was aware she had a dental emergency, so I took the next available appointment, which happened to fall on Friday. I offered for him to take them instead, as it was an emergency, and he said he'd rather take them out for ice cream so he doesn't miss his flight. The appointment was at 5 p.m. I picked the girls up for the local ice cream place at 4:40, and we went to our appointment. Jamie then left for the airport at 5 p.m. to catch a flight to Sydney. So you're telling me that he said he'd rather take his daughter, who already needs to go to the dentist, to go get ice cream because he don't want to miss his flight. If that's not selfish, then I don't know what is, but okay, Jamie. Nikki continues to say, the dad playgroup. At this point of co-parenting, I had reached my tolerance and wanted minimal in-person contact with him for the sake of Ava and Zoe. He will always have his phone out trying to bait a disagreement with me because I didn't want them being used in content. I asked him to put Zoe in school on a Wednesday so I could completely avoid contact with him. One parent drops him off and the other one picks him up. This seemed like a great solution, but of course he fought me on this too. Had there been work obligations restricting him from changing his schedule, I would completely understand, but there wasn't. He had only been to this playgroup one time. He could have made other arrangements for the sake of healthy co-parenting. Disney. I had to take legal action for my girls to even attend school at their ages. In Australia, you start school at 5 or 6 depending on how early in the year you were born. Jamie wanted them to delay another year so that he could milk them for views while they were in his care. I said no. We live in Australia, and California was a very far flight, and he had never taken them out of the country alone. I didn't want them to go, but I offered to come so the girls didn't miss out on the experience. But he knew if I was there, I wouldn't like him filming them as much, so he made co-parenting the issue. I wanted to put our issues aside and give the girls some happy memories with both their parents. I brought up the matter of schooling because he took me back to court and forced me to send the girls to this very expensive private school. This was his request, and I am now responsible for their expenses. Depression is not something I would ever take lightly. The comments I made on the recorded audio were not okay. Before he pressed record, he was calling me crazy and said I needed psychiatric help, threatening to take full custody of our kids, so I stooped to his level. This isn't an excuse, and I apologize if these statements caused offense to anyone. Long story short, this was a very manipulative and calculated attack on not only myself, but this act will also cause collateral damage to our 2 children. This was a 4-year-old clip, and now these clips will remain online forever. I have moved on with my life. I'm in a loving, genuine relationship, and I'm finally at peace. This smear campaign was made to not only garner sympathy from his audience, but to revive a stagnant YouTube channel, sell an unreleased children's book, and completely slander my reputation. Jamie wanted revenge for me putting my foot down and restricting how often he posts the girls online. It disheartens me that I need to even make these statements because most people with discernment can see it for what it was. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to read this. To Ava and Zoe, I'm so sorry. This is a classic hurt people hurt people. I haven't watched Jamie and Nikki in years, okay? And I remember when they announced that they were getting divorced and stuff, and I didn't really think too much of it. But the class and restraint it took for Nikki to just put out some post on her Instagram story and not even do a video and not monetize off of this whole situation the way that Jamie tried to, that's noble as shit. And I don't really feel like anyone can try and come for her when it comes to this because she did everything right. She didn't even try and profit off of this whole situation the same way that Jamie did. And that proves that that was his whole MO for what he was trying to do with them girls. I believe everything she said. And this is why I wanted to wait for Nikki to say something because the way he just came out with that video, it just so like unprovoked, literally. But if you enjoy this review, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I post and upload. And I'm gonna see you on the next one.